Welcome back to the TED Show. Last show of the day, but certainly not the least. Super excited to have Frankie Messina on the phone.
Ah,
On the phone. Wow, on the phone. Tell
we
you
can be on the phone.
Frankie, on the show with us. I love the background. I love all the records. We were talking about that. Frankie's a great guy. We have Apartment E Live. We're going to talk about that. WRPK. We're going to talk about his history. Super excited. Welcome, my friend. How you doing today?
This is a pleasure and an honor, dude. I've been watching you for a long time. You cover everybody, and I'm like, when I started like 3 years ago on the radio after Jessica Pauly invited me into the show at WPRK, I already knew you were around. You've been just kicking some tail. So this is a real honor for me. So thank you for the show. I don't know what we're going to talk about, except we can talk about records. We can talk about,
I want to
Don.
talk about, first of all, thank you. Very kind words. I want to talk about, you do so much in the community, but before we get to that, before we get to
Sure.
Harmony, before we get to all of the 10,000 records you got,
Oh yeah.
20,000 records you got back there, let's learn a little bit about your journey. So tell us about your background and how you got here.
Well, I moved here in 1989, and I had been in the army. I was living in New Orleans before that, Louisiana, Mississippi, little tag back and forth to those states. And something about Orlando drew me here. I think just the change, something new. And I got here, and I was like, had some vices that I had to try to like calm down a little bit to grow up. And but I was looking around for live music and art shows, and I found some really cool folks like Mindy Cowles and old Tabula Rasa magazines, and the Orlando Weekly was there already, but just the downtown scene a little bit with Jim Faraday and some music happening. But I was looking for more. I was looking for those warehouse parties that I was missing, and just those art and just not the things that you see on festivals and on the street. And I had a friend tell me, Frankie, just start doing them. I had some really good advice from a friend. I wanted to do a live painting at a coffee shop one night, have people come with their easels and paint. And he just told me something very simple. He said, "Are you painting?" And it just really stuck with me that if you want to do something, you just got to do it. So I just started
Yeah.
supporting what was here. Living in an apartment E, it could have been apartment B or C. It was over there on Cathcart right downtown. And
Yeah.
I called my friends together and said, you know what? I'm not falling any further down here in life. It was my little epiphany of, stop, be happier, do what you have to do.
Yes.
And I started having little parties at the Bull and Bush because I had a friend coming down who was a professional piano player. I had Michael Wanzi was actually at the first party. This is almost 30 years ago now,
Wow.
like 1992 or so. We had the 3 or so. We had the first party. I met a girl at karaoke, and I just said people. A bus boy from work at Disney did Elvis impersonations. Little couple poetry things happening, and I just said, "Come together." So, what are we celebrating? And I said, "Let's just celebrate us, whatever you've got to do." And from there, it snowballed into this roving party around town, and at Lee's Lakeside with Miss Lee that
Oh,
was
I
there.
miss Lee's Lakeside.
The downstairs there had that big baby red baby grand piano, and we had
Yes.
parties down there. Anywhere they would have us set up a table, I had this leopard chair I called Eartha that we would carry the chair around town, and wherever the chair went, named after Eartha Kitt, the chair was. And if you sat in the chair and did your poetry, or brought your guitar and played, or brought your easel, that's what we did. It started
So when
really
you say
small.
parties, let's define parties for them because I think I know, but this is really a very like a traveling talent, different art forms, different artists. You say party, everybody's gathering
Uh,
together and kind of celebrating their own version of
uh,
what their talent is. Give us a description.
it was just supporting everybody. Like I mentioned, Michael Wanzi was there, and of course, Bill Hare, Lolo Lay
Yeah.
showed up and would be there, and Manny that used to be at the Parliament House years ago would show up, and I'd meet just these people on the street. Eugene Snowden from the legendary JCs, I met him on the street. Told him I was having an event. We were just having occasional, I say parties. That's all we were. We were just saying. There was really no reason except come do it. There
Yes.
was a movie called The City of Joy at the end of it, at the same time, it had a little slogan at the end. It was one of Patrick Swayze's movies that I really loved. It had a slogan that said, "All that is not given is lost." And it just really stuck with me. Like I said, that's what I'm doing. Like we could all be gone tomorrow. No one will ever know that you had that poem inside of you or that song.
It's true.
Or, you know, I guess I just want people just to do it. You know, it's not my responsibility to make you do what you got to do, but it is my responsibility as a friend or as someone who admires what you do to push you to the cliff and let you either fall or fly. That's all up to you now. But you need pushers in life, and like I'm a pusher.
Well,
Always have been.
you're
I've
a
always
good pusher, though. You're a good pusher.
well, thanks. I've always loved everything. You know, that's why I'm so proud of your show. I'm that way with it. I know that you're doing something and you're doing it well and wonderful, or you wouldn't be doing it because you're proud of yourself, what you've done, and you've done excellent. You really, I told you I was gonna turn it. I told you I was gonna turn the tables.
You're trying, man. You are doing it.
I'll twist it around on you. Anyway, well, thanks for the interest in me because I don't talk about me a lot. You know, I just have these parties.
Why is that? Because I feel like I did enough research. Obviously, I've known of you and know you, and I know that you are a creative. I love creatives. But why don't people hear? Why don't you share more? Are you more on stage? You share when you your personality come out more when you're actually what I would consider performing.
I think I like the fact that people see things that are created with. I don't believe in one person being out there in the front. I mean, you know, and that's just how I've always been. I've lately in the last year or two, when with the radio show, had a chance to bring people on the show that I've met through the last 30 years. That's kind of like been secrets, like you're saying, like kind of like under the radar. I mean, I've gone there. I've done things, you know, Third Thursday, the walks. You know, we did the third Thursday walks. And First Thursday, I was part with the Victor Perez and all the Glenn Dopkin and, you know, Robin Van Arsdale and all these folks when it was called Art After Dark.
Yeah.
When it wasn't called First Thursday at the museum. So I've been in the process of creating it. And also with Victor with New Night, you know, before Kelly Stevens, rest in peace, Kelly Stevens, we love you. Victor Press started that. I've been at the ground level of these things in town, musically, artistically, poetry wise, with the old Will's Pub that people talk about. Well, Will's Pub we love, but Kit Kat and, you know, the Globe and all. I've seen it all grow. We were all here it seemed like the early 90s. There was a really burgeoning time where people were all out, like everything was possible. You just had to do it. And the positive people we've surrounded around us. I've heard your name for a long time. I have a friend, Jay Penner, who knows you. I don't know who remember Jay Penner. Wow. This guy admires you so much. He's told me, he says, like, when I started doing radio or a podcast, he was like, I know a guy that does that. You got to meet him. And here we are already. You know, this is wonderful. So
and here we are with you've got a lot of love going on the platforms, by the way. Lots of love for Frankie. Tell me give us an idea of what Apartment E Live or Apartment E Frankie Live. I understand now why the name, you mentioned that earlier, but what's the concept? What do people tune in to hear? Because you are on radio. I always joke I have a face for radio, so of course I put myself on video. Oh, Boris just popped on. Hey, Boris.
You're a good-looking man, dude. You always got that crushed velvet suit on. You got it going on, dude.
It's a very soft jacket, I could tell.
I like it. I think I had a Volkswagen actually that had the crushed velvet on the inside. My mom recovered the seats with the crushed velvet, red baby blue crushed velvet.
That's comfortable stuff, my friend.
And it was comfortable, very comfortable.
Tell us tell us what you do. What is the concept of what you do? I understand the parties, but Apartment E Live, okay. This is something that maybe people who don't pay attention, there's a lot of people who don't tune in, that I want them to find you.
Like I mentioned, I was graciously invited from Jessica Pauly, who had the show at wprk, which I never thought this voice, like you're saying, would never be on the radio with this country voice. Her and I spent about 6 hours one night trying to figure out who could co-host with her, because she was getting another job where she couldn't be there every day. And after 6 hours, she said, you. And I said, why? She said, well, Frankie, because you love the city. You love people around you. You love the scene. You love creating new things. And I did it. And people say I was a natural when I just walked right into it. It was just bringing my friends to the studio, but also I really seek out when people listen to the show, I want them to listen to their story. Events are fine. They got something coming up, great. But I always get a little personal. And then I had a really cool thing that happened with the, I say cool thing, a lot of people don't say that with the pandemic, but at the same almost exact time that I was getting really interested, really comfortable with the show at wprk at Rollins College, wprk.org, just putting that out there. Great show. I've always loved it. It's going to be 70 years old. That's one of the oldest radio stations, college radio stations in the country.
Wow.
We were forced to send our shows in remotely. So that's why we're sitting here and right here in this spot, the record room, I call it. And I learned all that myself. I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. You know, I've had friends help me a lot. I had one friend help me today to get on here today. And people came to my house. So then the conversations got really personal, but also let them perform. So it was exactly what I'd started with 30 years ago without all the shoots and the fireworks and the, you know, big stage lighting and perfect performances. It's a real raw to the heart. It's gone full circle. And I brought that now attitude to the radio, back to the radio station. So when you tune in, you're hearing the real Orlando, real musicians, real poetry from the get-go, and I couldn't be happier. So
I love that. Something you said stuck with me. You said that we get real, we get raw, we get emotional. I'm guessing that that's how, because you're the consummate host, just like me. You get that out of your guest. When your guest is sharing, you guys are going back and forth. Are you being the same? Are you completely transparent? Do you get emotional with them or get involved?
I'm a crier.
Me too, brother. Me too.
What I love is I look at it this way. It's all about community and about that person's gift that they have to give to the community. If someone comes on and honestly, if someone's on there just for business sake or promoting their business, as long as they tell me that, that's also there. I'm okay. Right. You know, it adds value to what you're doing. Someone says, you know, I'm on your show to promote my new restaurant. Then wonderful. But if they come in there and go like, I'm on here because I love the arts, I love music, I just want to come meet you, then I ask them again, why are you really here? Like I want the truth. And that's what's built Orlando into such an incredible city. There's so many people that I know that go to parties. I'll always use this example on the show. Like musicians will go, I'll see them at the Imperial or somewhere. And I'll go like, Rachel, I didn't know you were playing tonight. She says, I'm not, but Jordan is, but he is. It's a really big support here. I got coffee.
Drink your coffee. It's a big support here.
Yes. And I support you. You support me. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know,
I feel
all the
like
podcasters.
You're an untapped. You're an example of what I would consider, if you're in the know, you're in the know. And if you're not, people just have never heard of what you do. It's the same for me. There are people who don't know what I do, but that's why we have to continue to sponsor and bring spotlight and bring light to all of these cool creatives like you. Yep. That are giving a platform and allowing that. We live in a big city and we're not all the mouse. So there are so many amazing artists and creatives, and well, you said it, restaurants. I don't care what it is. You can't have known or seen everything. And I love the fact that you bring on creatives and artists and spotlight them. I think that's
I appreciate that, because what I really always push people to know, like, you know, I'll just say his name, Cole Neesmith, has done such a wonderful thing for the city. Yes. And he's out there very transparent about what he's done. He's worked really, really hard. And I'm always, even if it's just like a like on Facebook, I'm always promoting this stuff because, you know, there's not an ounce of competition, which should not be. That's small city to me. To be a large city, there's no competition. We all go together. We're all in this together, and to make it better. And you can't always be just thinking about yourself. Always, just showing up. You know, who taught me that? Donna Dallas, our woman, our lady Donna. Just showing up is the most important thing you can do. And I'll walk into an art show and it's not like, hey, he's here, look at Frankie, and I go straight to the art. I have to purposely sometimes almost wear disguises. No lie, not that I'm famous, but it'd be like, hey, Frankie's here. Let's talk to him. No, I'm here for that one artist that's having his first
Yes.
art show at City Arts Factory, and I got to get this close to the artwork. Like, okay, we'll talk in a minute. And I'm looking at the artwork because I want that artist to feel that they've done what they've done, and they're getting noticed by the people that really love what they do, because it makes us all better. You know,
All
there's
better.
this city is amazing. I've been here 30 years, and honestly, you're saying that people don't know a lot about Apartment E. There's so much I don't know about. Every day I'm going like, what? Well, who are you? Like, what's going on? Me and you should have met 20 years ago if it was a small city. We should have met personally. I've seen you, you know, but I've been watching you for a long time. Once again,
Well, thank you.
Your guests have been so diverse and wonderful. I mean, you really got your pulse on the city.
Thank you.
And for me to be invited by you once again, anyway, thank you very much. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm honored to have you on. I want more people to check you out. We have apartmente.com. There's also wrpk.org, if I'm not mistaken.
WPRK, which
PRK.
people switch it around with, you know, the Cincinnati, you know.
Yes, that's what in my brain. But apartmente.com, and
I've said it a lot of times.
You can find Frankie anywhere. I want you to check out what he does. I want you to look him up. I want you to see the work and the connections that he has, because I feel like we are a city of a lot of people who really are creatives and support on the back burner. And the more that all of us can unite like this and come together and do more, it's better for all of us. Like you said it perfectly earlier. This is good for everyone. All right, Frankie, I've got one last question for you.
Sure.
It's Women's History Month. So I'm asking every guest, when I say the word hero, what woman comes to mind?
I will have to say my friend Justine Fidicario. She's a 4-time cancer survivor. She's part of and very instrumental with the Warriors on Water. Not sure if you heard of that. They have the dragon boat.
Yes.
She's always out there smiling, encouraging. There's probably 40 or 50 women around her now. But as person as a friend, I met her as a bartender at Townsend's Plantation years ago. And she has survived.
Oh my God.
You remember, that's where the party started also. And she is my hero locally. Of course, I'm going to say my mom because I'm Italian, okay? But Justine is an incredible woman. She has her own podcast called Just Talk with Justine, and she'd be a great guest. But she's encouraging to show me around her, and that's my hero.
I love it. Beautiful. All right, y'all. If you love Frankie as much as I do, which I know you do, reach out.
How do you do it? I don't even know how to do it. How do you do that? I've never done that before. I've never done that before.
You can check him out on social media, Frankie Messina. You can go to apartmente.com. You can reach out to me. We've got him tagged and everything. Reach out to Frankie. Frankie, come back on any time. I love talking with you.
Thank you. Hey, I want to have you in this room with Apartment E Live. I want to have you back here with a cup of coffee.
I'd be honored.
We'll throw in some Billie Holiday or something. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about it all.
I would be honored. See, look, you've even got some love from the one and only Will Benton as well.
Mr. Will. I hope he's doing better. He was feeling kind of down. Favo. Yes.
That's right, Favo. All right, Frankie. Thank you guys so much. Get out and support our creatives. Go to apartmente.com. Find Frankie anywhere on social media.
Great.
Get to know your city and your Central Florida area. There's some amazing, beautiful people just like Frankie around. All right, we'll see you guys.